Everything that has been created in your life, whether consciously or unconsciously, started as a thought, a belief, an assumption. Now, what would happen if you consciously directed your thoughts and assumptions toward the life you want to live? What if, instead of waiting for things to change, you began to assume that everything you desire is already on its way? The secret is in living from the end. What does this mean? It means imagining and feeling as though the thing you want has already happened. Don't wait for external circumstances to show you the way. Don't wait for confirmation from the world. Live as though it has already been fulfilled. If you are longing for financial abundance, live as though your bank account is already filled with the wealth you desire. If you want love in your life, feel what it would be like to already be loved and cherished. When you live from the end, you are telling the universe that you are already in alignment with your desires. It's not enough to simply think it. You must believe it. You must assume that it is already true. Your beliefs are the force that shapes your reality. If you assume that the fulfillment of your desire is already yours, the universe will move in accordance with that belief. There's no room for doubt or questioning. You must trust the process. This is where your imagination comes in. Imagination is not just a passive faculty for idle daydreaming. It is the very tool by which you create your world. It is through imagination that we access the realm of possibility, and it is in the state of imagination that we can begin to feel the reality of our desires, as though they are already present. The more vividly you imagine your desire, the more deeply you feel it as your present reality, the quicker it will begin to manifest in your physical world. But even as you imagine, there must be a sense of peace. The moment you let go of the need to control how or when it will arrive, you allow the universe to work in its own perfect timing. Trust the process. You see, the universe is not bound by time and space as we are. It has its own perfect timing and rhythm. And when you allow yourself to trust in that rhythm, everything will unfold just as it should, and you will witness your desires materialize before you. Understand that the phrase "it will come to you" is not a passive statement. It is a declaration of faith. It is the firm belief that everything you need, everything you desire, is already on its way to you. The moment you truly understand this, you cease the struggle. You stop fighting against the flow of life. Instead, you move in harmony with it, knowing that the very things you have imagined and felt are already finding their way into your life. The next time you feel as though something is taking too long, remember this: it is already on its way. Your desire has already been created in the invisible realm, and it will take physical form in the right moment. Your job is to maintain the feeling of fulfillment, the assumption that it has already arrived. In doing so, you will draw it closer, and soon enough you will find yourself in the midst of it. Believe it, feel it, and trust it. Your desires will come to you. The world around you is merely a reflection of your inner state, and once you align that inner state with what you wish to see, the outer world will follow. Patience, faith, and the knowledge that it will come to you are all you need. The power of belief is one of the most profound forces in shaping the course of our lives. Everything we experience, whether success or failure, abundance or lack, joy or sorrow, is deeply influenced by the beliefs we hold. But belief is not just a passive thought or a simple affirmation. It is a dynamic, living force that molds our reality. It acts as a blueprint for the life we create, determining the outcomes we experience. When we understand this power, we realize that we are not merely at the mercy of circumstances, but rather we are the creators of our own circumstances. At the core of this belief is the understanding that the mind is not just a passive observer, but an active participant in the creation of our experiences. The thoughts that dominate our mind, the ideas we hold to be true, are the seeds from which our reality grows. If we hold beliefs of limitation, scarcity, or inadequacy, those beliefs will manifest in ways that reinforce those ideas. Conversely, when we hold beliefs of abundance, possibility, and worthiness, we begin to see opportunities and experiences that match those beliefs. It is as if the universe bends itself to align with the thoughts we hold most true. What makes belief so powerful is its ability to shape our perception and influence our actions. Our beliefs determine how we see the world and what we think is possible. For instance, if we believe that success is achievable and that we are deserving of it, we naturally act in ways that align with those beliefs. We take risks, we pursue opportunities, and we persevere in the face of challenges. On the other hand, if we hold a belief that success is something reserved for others, or that we are incapable of achieving it, we may hesitate, procrastinate, or self-sabotage, never truly stepping into the actions that would bring us closer to our goals. Belief is also tied to our self-worth. Our beliefs about ourselves determine how we allow others to treat us, what we think we deserve, and how much we value our own time and energy. A person who believes they are worthy of love and respect will not tolerate mistreatment or neglect, while someone who believes they are unworthy may accept less than they deserve. In the same way, someone who believes in their own capabilities will pursue their goals with confidence, whereas someone who doubts their abilities may give up too soon or not try at all. Belief is not just about the conscious thoughts we hold, it is also embedded in our subconscious mind. These deeply ingrained beliefs, often formed from childhood experiences or societal conditioning, can either empower us or limit us. The subconscious mind operates quietly in the background, guiding our choices and responses to life's challenges. Therefore, changing our beliefs requires more than just thinking positive thoughts. It involves a deeper shift in our mindset, a realignment of our subconscious beliefs to match the life we desire. The key to harnessing the power of belief lies in consciously choosing the beliefs that serve us. This is where the power of assumption comes in. By assuming a new belief, we begin to act as though it is already true. Over time, this assumption becomes part of our reality, and the circumstances in our lives shift to reflect it. Whether it's believing in our potential, in the abundance of the universe, or in our ability to manifest our desires, our beliefs have the power to shape everything we experience. When we believe in our dreams and our worth, the universe will begin to reveal the paths, opportunities, and connections that lead us to their fulfillment. Living in the end is one of the most transformative principles in the process of manifestation. It involves the practice of imagining that your desires have already been realized, and living as though the outcome is a present reality, not a future possibility. This mindset is not about waiting or hoping for something to come into your life, but embodying the state of already having it. When you fully embrace this idea, you are not in a state of longing or lack, but one of fulfillment and completion. This concept asks you to shift your focus entirely. Rather than striving for a goal or focusing on what you do not yet have, you focus on the assumption that it is already part of your life. For instance, if you are seeking a career change, you do not visualize or act as though you are working toward that goal. Instead, you imagine yourself already in the role you desire. You imagine the satisfaction of your work, the relationships with your colleagues, the daily activities you will engage in. You allow yourself to feel the emotions associated with that fulfilled desire. By living in the end, you allow your mind to fully embrace the reality of having what you want, as if it has already manifested. One of the critical aspects of living in the end is to engage all of your senses in this imagined scenario. The more vivid and detailed your imagined experience, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. For example, if you desire a new home, don't just think of it as a far-off dream. Instead, feel the texture of the walls, the comfort of the furniture, the sounds of your surroundings. Engage in this detailed imagining until it feels so real that your mind cannot tell the difference between the imagined and the actual. This exercise is not about escaping reality, but about training your mind to perceive the fulfillment of your desires as already existing in your experience. When you truly embody this state of living in the end, the external world is forced to adjust and reflect this assumption. It is as though you are setting a precedent for your life, and everything around you begins to align with your vision. By acting as though your desire is already fulfilled, you build confidence in your belief system and demonstrate to your subconscious that it is worthy of the experience it has already accepted. Living in the end means detaching from the process of getting there. So often people focus on the steps or the hows of their desires coming to fruition. They think about the journey and the struggles along the way. But living in the end releases the need for any intermediate steps. Instead of obsessing over how things will work out or when they will happen, you simply trust that everything is unfolding according to the belief you hold. You are not concerned with when or how you will arrive, because in your mind you have already arrived. This principle encourages immersion in the state of fulfillment. You should not wait for the world to give you confirmation that your desires will manifest before you act as though they already have. You are not trying to manipulate the universe into delivering your desires. Rather, you are recognizing that everything you want is already present, and that your act of living in that end state is what brings it into physical form. The law of assumption is one of the most powerful and transformative principles you can embrace in your life. It teaches that by assuming the feeling of your desire already being fulfilled, you begin to activate the creative forces within you to bring it into manifestation. This principle is based on the understanding that reality is shaped by the beliefs we hold, and the assumption that what we desire has already come to pass plays a critical role in this shaping process. When we say assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, we are talking about a deep, personal shift in how we experience our desires. The law suggests that it is not enough to merely wish for something. The key to attracting it into your life is to assume that it is already manifested. You must feel that your desire is already a reality, and you must do so consistently, even before it appears in the physical world. This assumption does not come from wishful thinking or vague hopes. It comes from a profound knowing and internal belief that what you seek is already yours. When you assume that your desires are already fulfilled, you are no longer waiting for external evidence or signs to confirm that it is possible. Instead, you create the evidence internally within your own mind and heart. This internal creation is the first step in bringing about external results. It is essential to understand that the law of assumption operates without judgment or concern for the limitations of time or circumstance. It does not matter what obstacles or challenges seem to stand in your way. The key is to assume that your desire has already been fulfilled and feel it as such. By doing so, you are aligning yourself with the energy and vibration of your goal, which eventually leads to the manifestation of that goal in your physical world. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled requires discipline and focus. It demands that you discipline your thoughts and emotions to consistently return to the belief that you already have what you desire. If you want financial abundance, for example, you need to feel as though you are already living in a state of abundance. This means thinking and acting as if the wealth has already manifested. If you are seeking love, you must feel loved right now, rather than waiting for love to appear externally. The more you consistently live in the assumption of your fulfilled wish, the more you invite that very wish to become your reality. The law of assumption works because it is rooted in the idea that the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you impress that idea upon your subconscious mind, and your subconscious then begins to shape your actions, thoughts, and experiences in alignment with that assumption. The subconscious mind is incredibly powerful. Once it accepts an assumption, it begins to work to bring that assumption to life, often in ways that are beyond your conscious understanding. As you continue to practice the law of assumption, you will notice that your thoughts, emotions, and actions begin to align with your desires more effortlessly. The assumption becomes second nature, and what once felt impossible or distant begins to feel inevitable. The key is persistence and unwavering faith in the assumption that your desires are already realized. The longer you remain in this state of assumed fulfillment, the quicker your desires will manifest in your reality. The imagination is one of the most powerful and underutilized tools in the process of creation. It is not just a fleeting daydream or a wishful thought, but a dynamic and creative force that shapes reality. When we talk about the imagination, we often reduce it to simple fantasy or mental escape, but in truth, imagination is the fabric of the universe itself. It is the medium through which we connect with the potentialities of our desires and bring them into our experience. To truly understand the power of imagination, we must first recognize that it is not separate from reality, but intricately woven into the fabric of our lives. What we imagine, we can bring to life. This is not a mystical or esoteric concept, it is a practical tool available to everyone. The imagination operates in the same way that a seed grows into a tree. It begins as a small, unseen force and gradually takes shape, eventually becoming something tangible. But just like planting a seed, the process requires nurturing, focus, and belief. When you consciously use your imagination, you are planting a seed of creation. The thoughts and images you form in your mind are like blueprints for what is to come. Imagine that you are an architect designing your future, and your imagination is the drafting table where you sketch out the plans. Every thought, every image that you hold in your mind contributes to the structure of your life. These images are not mere flights of fancy, they are the scaffolding of your future reality. The difficulty lies in the lack of understanding about how to use the imagination effectively. It is not enough to simply think about something in passing. You must engage with the image emotionally, mentally, and physically. This is why it is essential to create a clear mental picture of what you want, and then fully immerse yourself in the feelings of having it. The more vivid and detailed the image in your mind, the stronger the force it carries. Think of it as painting a picture with every color, texture, and shape that you desire your life to hold. The more real and palpable the vision becomes, the quicker it will take root in your reality. One key to this process is to involve all the senses in the imagination. When you imagine, do not merely see the outcome, feel the joy of having it, hear the sounds that accompany your success, and even smell or taste the aspects of your desire. By engaging all the senses, you make the imagined reality much more vivid and believable. This is what bridges the gap between the imagination and physical manifestation. As you imagine in this rich, multi-sensory way, the experience becomes so real to your mind that it feels inevitable. A crucial aspect of imagination is the act of repetition. Just as you would practice a musical instrument or refine a skill, using your imagination consistently strengthens the connection between your desires and their eventual realization. The more often you imagine and immerse yourself in these images and feelings, the more powerful they become. Over time, the thoughts of your desire will feel natural, and you will no longer have to struggle to imagine them. You will simply know that they are true. Imagination also works in alignment with the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts the images you present to it as truth. When you repeatedly imagine yourself in the state of having what you want, your subconscious mind begins to align your actions, beliefs, and thoughts with that imagined reality. This internal alignment then influences your external reality, often in ways that seem almost magical. The beauty of imagination is that it operates regardless of your current circumstances. It is not bound by time, space, or the limitations of the physical world. When you use your imagination, you tap into a world of infinite possibility. The key is to trust in the process and have faith that your imagination is not just wishful thinking, but a creative force actively shaping your future. It's often difficult to embrace the idea of patience, especially when we desire something deeply. We are conditioned to expect instant results, whether it's in our careers, relationships, or material possessions. This desire for immediate gratification can cause us to doubt the process, question our beliefs, and become frustrated when things don't manifest as quickly as we'd like. Yet, in the realm of creation, patience is not simply a virtue, it is a necessity. It is the essential ingredient that ensures your desires come into form at the right time. Patience doesn't mean passively sitting and waiting, detached from the outcome. It's a state of calm trust that everything is unfolding according to a divine timetable, even if you can't see the immediate signs of progress. Trusting the process means having faith that what you have imagined, what you have assumed as true, is already on its way, even though you may not yet perceive it in the physical world. The seeds you've planted through your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions are quietly growing and preparing to emerge. When you trust in the process, you stop trying to control the timeline. You let go of the anxiety that comes with constantly checking whether the outcome is here yet. This kind of trust removes the need for you to force results, because you understand that the universe or the creative force that governs existence is not bound by the same limitations of time and space that we experience. It has its own perfect timing and rhythm that may seem different from our own, but it is always in alignment with our highest good. One of the most powerful aspects of patience is its ability to teach us resilience. Trusting the process allows you to stay grounded and composed, even when the results aren't immediately visible. You learn to appreciate the journey, knowing that every step is contributing to the fulfillment of your desire, whether you can see it or not. As you stay aligned with the belief that it is coming to you, the external world begins to shift in subtle ways. Opportunities start to appear, people begin to show up, and circumstances begin to align, though they might not be immediately obvious. Patience also nurtures an attitude of gratitude. When you trust that what you've asked for will come, your attention shifts away from lack and scarcity. You stop focusing on the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Instead, you focus on the fact that everything you need is already on its way to you. This shift in focus cultivates a sense of abundance and gratitude, which only amplifies your ability to attract more of what you desire. Trust in the process also requires understanding that manifestation is not a linear path. It doesn't always happen in the way you expect or follow a strict timeline. Sometimes what you desire must pass through a series of stages, changes, or even apparent delays before it comes to you. These experiences, though, are not setbacks, they are part of the unfolding. The more you trust that everything is working for your good, the more you embrace every moment of the journey, knowing that each step is leading you closer to the realization of your desires. Patience reinforces the belief in the perfection of life. When you trust in the process, you begin to understand that there is no such thing as a mistake, no such thing as a wrong turn. Every experience, every delay, every moment of waiting is precisely as it should be. The things that are meant for you are not lost or out of reach. They are already yours, and with patience you allow them to come to you in their own perfect time, unfolding in a way that you may not yet understand, but can always trust to be for your highest good.